Imagine yourself settling into a quiet moment, the world's clamor fading as you let your breath soften. In a life filled with endless demands, work that never seems to pause, relationships that test our hearts, dreams that feel just out of reach, self-doubt can settle like a heavy fog, clouding our clarity and dimming our confidence. But what if there were a way to part that fog? What if an ancient story, carried through centuries, could light a path toward trust in ourselves? Tonight, we'll journey together through a Buddhist parable, one of a weary seeker, a fleeting world, and 7 gentle truths that can transform doubt into clarity. Let's begin with the story of Lila, a woman who stood at a crossroads, searching for the courage to move forward. In a village nestled between mountains and mist, there lived a woman named Lila. She was known for her kind heart, but her steps were often hesitant, weighed down by a quiet doubt that whispered she was never enough. Lila dreamed of opening a small school to teach children the stories and songs of her people, but each time she thought of starting, her mind filled with questions. What if she failed? What if no one came? What if her voice wasn't strong enough to carry her dream? One evening, as the sun painted the sky with gold, Lila wandered to a temple on the village's edge. There she met an old monk, his face lined with years, but his eyes clear as a mountain stream. He sat beneath a tree, its leaves falling gently to the ground, each one drifting away in the breeze. Lila poured out her heart, her voice trembling. I want to build something meaningful, but I'm afraid I'll fail. My doubts hold me back, and I don't know how to begin. The monk listened, his silence warm and patient. Then he picked up a fallen leaf and held it in his palm. Look at this leaf, he said. It was once part of the tree, vibrant and strong. Now it falls, and soon it will be gone. Yet the tree remains ready for new leaves to grow. Your doubts are like this leaf, real, but not forever. They do not define you. Lila watched the leaf as the monk let it go, carried away by the wind. He continued, the world is always changing, Lila. Your fears, your dreams, even you, they are all impermanent. But in this truth lies your freedom. You need not wait for certainty to act. Begin where you are and let the journey unfold. With the monk's words echoing in her heart, Lila returned home. The next day she took a small step. She wrote a single story to share with the children. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. Over time, her steps grew bolder, her doubts quieter, until her school became a place of laughter and learning. Lila's journey, like the falling leaves, was a lesson in impermanence, a lesson that holds 7 ways to unlock confidence and clarity in our own lives. Let's explore the first, a truth as simple as a leaf in the wind. The monk's words to Lila as he held the falling leaf carry the first way impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. See your doubts as fleeting, not fixed. In Buddhist teachings, this is the truth of anicca, impermanence. Our thoughts, like leaves, arise and pass away. Lila's self-doubt felt heavy, as if it defined her, but the monk showed her it was only a moment, not her truth. When we cling to doubts as permanent, they cloud our clarity, but when we see them as passing, we find space to act with courage. In our lives, self-doubt often feels like a constant companion. Perhaps you hesitate to speak up at work, fearing your ideas aren't good enough. Or maybe you avoid a new path, a creative project, a deeper connection because you think, I'm not ready, I'll fail. These thoughts seem solid, but they're not. They're like leaves drifting through the mind, here one moment, gone the next. The Buddha taught that by observing our thoughts without grasping them, we free ourselves from their weight. I've seen this truth touch many lives. A young man once shared how doubt kept him from pursuing music, his heart's calling. He believed he wasn't talented enough, that others would judge him. But when he began to notice his doubts as passing thoughts, not facts, he found courage. He played one song, then another, each step loosening the grip of fear. His confidence grew, not because doubt vanished, but because he saw it as impermanent, a leaf he didn't need to hold. You can try this too. The next time doubt rises, pause. Take a slow breath and notice the thought. Is it, I'm not enough, or I'll never succeed? Instead of believing it, say to yourself, this is just a thought, and it will pass. Write it down if it helps, then let it go, like a leaf on the wind. This small act of mindfulness opens a window to clarity, reminding you that you are more than your doubts. It's not about silencing them, but about seeing them as fleeting, making room for the confidence to take one step forward. This first way sets the foundation for Lila's journey, and ours a gentle shift in how we see our minds. As we carry this truth forward, let's explore the second way Impermanence lights the path to courage. Lila's small step writing that first story for the children was like a seed planted in uncertain soil. It wasn't grand, but it was enough to begin. This brings us to the second way Impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. Embrace the freedom of impermanent actions. In Buddhist teachings, this aligns with virya, the effort to act, even when outcomes are unsure. The monk didn't ask Lila to build a perfect school or silence her doubts. He urged her to start, knowing that every action, like every leaf, is temporary. This impermanence frees us from the need for flawless beginnings, inviting us to try, to learn, to grow. In our lives, self-doubt often paralyzes us because we fear our actions must be perfect or permanent. You might hesitate to start a new project, thinking, what if it's not good enough? Or you avoid speaking your truth, worried your words will be judged forever. But impermanence teaches us that no step is final. A mistake, a stumble, even a success, they all pass, making way for the next moment. This truth loosens doubt's grip, giving us permission to act with courage, however small the step. I recall a woman who dreamed of starting a community garden but was held back by doubt. She thought she needed to know everything about plants, soil, organizing before beginning. One day she planted a single herb in a pot, a tiny, imperfect act. That pot became a row, then a small garden, as her confidence grew with each step. Impermanence freed her. She didn't need to be an expert, only willing to try, knowing each effort was a moment, not a monument. You can find this freedom, too. Think of something doubt has kept you from a goal, a conversation, a dream. What's one small, impermanent action you could take today? If you want to write, jot down one sentence. If you're nervous about connecting with someone, send a brief, kind message. These acts don't need to be perfect. They're leaves on the wind, carrying you forward. Each step builds clarity, showing you that confidence comes not from certainty, but from the courage to begin. This second way invites us to move lightly, trusting that no action defines us forever. As Lila's story unfolds, let's turn to the third way impermanence guides us toward a clearer, braver heart. As Lila took her first steps toward her dream, writing stories and sharing them with the children, she felt the weight of her doubts begin to shift. They didn't vanish, but they grew quieter, like leaves settling after a gust. This leads us to the third way. Impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. Trust the fleeting nature of your struggles. The Buddhist teaching of Anicca reminds us that everything, our fears, our challenges, even our triumphs, is temporary. Lila's doubts felt heavy, but the monk's wisdom showed her they were not her forever. They were passing moments, like clouds across a vast sky. In our modern lives, we often treat struggles as permanent. A setback at work feels like a lifelong failure. A moment of self-doubt becomes "I'll never be enough." We hold these thoughts tightly, as if they define us. But impermanence offers a gentler truth. No struggle lasts forever. The anxiety that keeps you awake, the uncertainty that clouds your choices, they are waves in a stream, rising and falling. By trusting this, we find clarity to see beyond the moment and confidence to keep moving forward. I once knew a man who faced a painful divorce, his heart heavy with doubt about his worth. He believed the hurt would never fade, that he'd always feel broken. But he began to practice mindfulness, sitting quietly each day, noticing his pain without clinging to it. Over time, he saw his grief as impermanent, like seasons shifting. This didn't erase the hurt, but it gave him clarity to rebuild, to find new joy. Like Lila, he learned that struggles pass, and this trust gave him the courage to step into his next chapter. You can embrace this truth too. When doubt or struggle feels overwhelming, try a simple practice. Sit quietly for a few moments, breathing slowly. As thoughts arise, worries, fears, name them softly. Doubt, pain, and let them pass like leaves on a stream. You don't need to fight them. Just notice their impermanence. This small act can clear the fog of doubt, reminding you that this moment, however heavy, will not last. Confidence grows when you trust that even the hardest times are temporary. This third way lights a path through struggle, showing us that clarity comes from trusting life's flow. As Lila's journey deepens, let's explore the fourth way. Impermanence opens the door to a stronger, clearer self. Lila's school began to take shape, one story, one child at a time. As she shared her songs and watched the children's eyes light up, she discovered a quiet strength within her, a clarity that had been there all along. This is the fourth way. Impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. Cultivate the stillness within you. In Buddhist teachings, dhyana, the practice of meditation, reveals an inner sanctuary that remains untouched by life's fleeting storms. Impermanence reminds us that doubts and fears pass, but it also points us inward to a place of calm that endures. In our busy lives, we often seek confidence in external things, a promotion, approval from others, a perfect plan. We think clarity will come when the world slows down or when we finally have it all together. But the Buddha's wisdom teaches that true confidence lives within, in the quiet space we nurture through mindfulness. When we pause, when we turn inward, we find a well of strength that no doubt can drain, a clarity that no chaos can cloud. I once met a young woman who felt lost in the rush of her career, her confidence shaken by constant pressure to perform. She doubted her choices, her worth, her path. One evening, she tried a simple meditation, sitting quietly, focusing on her breath for just 5 minutes. At first, her mind raced, but over weeks, she found a stillness that steadied her. She began to see her doubts as passing thoughts, not truths, and this inner calm gave her the clarity to make bold decisions. Like Lila, she discovered that confidence wasn't something to chase, it was something to uncover within. You can nurture this stillness too. Find a quiet moment each day, even for 5 minutes. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and follow your breath, letting it anchor you. If doubts arise, let them drift like leaves on a river, returning gently to your breath. Picture a still lake within you, its surface calm despite the winds of life. This practice builds a reservoir of clarity, a place where confidence grows, not from what you achieve, but from who you are. Impermanence teaches us that the world's noise is fleeting. The peace within is always there. This fourth way invites us to rest in our own strength, a strength Lila found as her journey continued. Let's turn to the fifth way. Impermanence lights the path to courage and clarity. As Lila's school grew, she noticed something new. The doubts that once held her back began to loosen, like leaves slipping from a branch. She no longer clung to them, and in that release, she found freedom. This is the fifth way. Impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. Let go of the stories that bind you. In Buddhist teachings, aparigraha, non-attachment, teaches us to release the thoughts, fears, and identities that no longer serve us. Impermanence shows us that our doubts are not permanent truths. They are fleeting, and we can choose to set them down. In our lives, we often carry old stories that fuel self-doubt. Perhaps it's a belief from childhood, I'm not good enough. Maybe it's a past failure we replay, thinking it defines us. These stories feel heavy because we treat them as fixed, but impermanence reminds us they're not. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past. It means choosing not to let it chain you. When we release these burdens, we make space for clarity and confidence to grow, like a tree shedding old leaves for new growth. I once knew a man who carried a story of rejection, a moment when he was turned away from a dream job. That memory fed his doubt, making him hesitate to try again. One day, he wrote a letter to himself, naming the pain of that rejection and thanking it for what it taught him. Then he chose to let it go, not by forgetting, but by deciding it no longer defined him. He applied for new opportunities, his steps lighter, his heart clearer. Like Lila, he found confidence not in erasing doubt, but in releasing its hold. You can try this too. Think of a story you carry, a doubt, a regret, a fear that feels like part of you. Write it down as if speaking to an old friend. Acknowledge its role in your life, then gently say, I release you. You don't need to act right away. Simply naming it is a powerful step. Picture it like a leaf falling from your hands, carried away by the wind. This act of letting go, rooted in impermanence, opens a path to clarity, where confidence can take root. This fifth way teaches us to travel lighter, unburdened by old doubts. As Lila's journey unfolds, let's explore the sixth way. Impermanence guides us toward a bolder, clearer heart. Lila's journey didn't end with building her school or releasing her doubts. It grew richer as she shared her stories, her heart steady despite life's This brings us to the sixth way. Impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. Act with compassion, knowing all is fleeting. In Buddhist teachings, karuna, compassion, flows from understanding impermanence. When we see that our struggles, like those of others, are temporary, we find the courage to connect, to give, to act from a place of kindness. For Lila, sharing her stories with the children wasn't just about teaching. It was an act of compassion that strengthened her own clarity and confidence. In our lives, self-doubt often isolates us, making us feel alone in our fears. We hesitate to reach out, to help, or to share, thinking our efforts won't matter or that we're not enough. But impermanence reminds us that every act, however small, ripples outward, and its impact doesn't need to last forever to be meaningful. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of listening, these fleeting acts build confidence by connecting us to something larger than our doubts. I once knew a woman who doubted her ability to make a difference in her community, feeling her voice was too small. But during a difficult time, she began volunteering at a local shelter, offering simple acts of kindness, sharing a meal, listening to someone's story. These moments, though impermanent, gave her clarity about her own strength. She saw that her doubts didn't define her. Her compassion did. Like Lila, she found confidence in giving, knowing each act was a fleeting but powerful gift. You can embrace this too. Think of one small way you can show compassion today, perhaps a kind message to a friend, a moment of patience with a colleague, or a gesture of support for someone struggling. It doesn't need to be grand. It's the act itself, rooted in the truth of impermanence, that matters. As you offer kindness, notice how it shifts your perspective, how it quiets doubt and brings clarity. Compassion is a bridge connecting you to others and to your own steady heart. This sixth way shows us that confidence grows when we give without clinging. As Lila's story continues to unfold, let's turn to the seventh way impermanence lights the path to clarity and courage. As Lila's school flourished, filled with the laughter of children and the warmth of shared stories, she began to see her journey differently. Each step, each moment of doubt overcome, was not a destination but part of a larger flow. This is the seventh way impermanence unlocks confidence and clarity. Live each moment fully, knowing it will pass. The Buddha taught that embracing shana, the fleeting nature of each moment, frees us to be present, to act with courage, and to find clarity in the now. Lila didn't need to perfect her school or banish all doubt. She only needed to show up, moment by moment, trust. In our lives, self-doubt often pulls us into the past or future, replaying old mistakes or fearing what's ahead. We lose confidence because we're not truly here. We're caught in what was or what might be. But impermanence reminds us that this moment is all we have, and it's enough. When we live fully in the now, whether it's a conversation, a task, or a quiet breath, we find clarity that cuts through doubt and confidence that grows from simply being present. I once met a man who struggled with doubt about his role as a father, fearing he wasn't doing enough for his children. He worried about past mistakes and future outcomes, his mind rarely in the present. One day he decided to focus on a single moment, playing a game with his daughter, listening to her laughter. In that fleeting moment, he found joy and clarity, realizing his presence was enough. Each time he returned to the now, his confidence as a parent grew, not because he had all the answers, but because he was there fully for the moment. You can try this too. Choose one moment today to be fully present, Perhaps while eating a meal, notice its taste and texture. Or in a conversation, listen with your whole heart. If doubt creeps in, gently note it and return to the moment, like a leaf settling back to the ground. This practice, rooted in impermanence, helps you see that confidence doesn't come from controlling the future, but from embracing the now. Each present moment is a chance to act, to feel, to be clear. This seventh way invites us to live lightly, moment by moment, trusting the flow of life. As Lila's journey draws us forward, let's weave these truths together, finding the strength they offer for our own paths. Lila's journey, from a hesitant dreamer to a woman whose stories lit up a village, wasn't about reaching a single moment of triumph. It was about the small, fleeting steps. Each story shared, each doubt softened, each moment lived fully. These 7 ways of impermanence, seeing doubts as fleeting, embracing imperfect action, trusting struggles pass, cultivating inner stillness, letting go of old stories, acting with compassion, and living in the now are like leaves on a tree, each one temporary, but part of a greater whole. Together, they weave a path to confidence and clarity, not by erasing doubt, but by teaching us to move through it with grace. In your own life, these truths can be a gentle guide. The rivers of doubt we face, whether in work, relationships, or the quiet corners of our hearts, are not walls but streams we can cross. You don't need to conquer them all at once. Like Lila, you can start with one small act, noticing a doubt and letting it pass, taking a tiny step toward a dream, or pausing to breathe in the present. Each moment you choose courage, you build a quiet strength, a clarity that lights your way. I've seen this wisdom transform lives. A young artist, paralyzed by doubt, began painting one stroke at a time, trusting each canvas was impermanent. A mother, overwhelmed by uncertainty, found clarity by focusing on one kind moment with her child. These acts, small and fleeting, are the roots of confidence, growing stronger with each step. Impermanence doesn't diminish us. It frees us to try, to grow, to be. Let me offer you a proverb, drawn from the heart of Buddhist wisdom. Asterisk, leaves fall, yet the tree stands tall. Carry this with you, a reminder that doubts may drift through your mind, but your strength remains. Try one practice from Lila's story today, perhaps writing down a doubt and releasing it, or pausing for a mindful breath. These moments are seeds, and with time they bloom into a life of greater clarity and courage. As you rest tonight, picture yourself under that tree with Lila, watching leaves fall, knowing each one carries a doubt away. Your journey, like hers, is unfolding, moment by moment, with wisdom as your guide. Let's carry this light forward together into the moments still to come. Lila's story, like the leaves falling from the monk's tree, carries a timeless truth. Impermanence is not a loss, but a gift that frees us to live with courage and clarity. As you lie down tonight, let her journey settle into your heart, a gentle reminder that your doubts, your struggles, your dreams, they are all part of a fleeting dance, each moment a chance to grow stronger. The 7 ways we've explored seeing doubts as passing thoughts, taking imperfect steps, trusting that struggles fade, nurturing inner stillness, releasing old stories, acting with compassion, and living fully in the now are not rules to master, but invitations to walk lightly through life's uncertainties. You carry these truths within you like seeds waiting to bloom. Perhaps tomorrow you'll notice a doubt and let it drift like a leaf on the wind. Maybe you'll take one small step toward a dream, trusting it doesn't need to be perfect. Or perhaps you'll pause, breathe, and find clarity in a single moment. Each choice, however small, is a step toward confidence, a clearing of the fog that doubt creates. I've seen this in countless lives: a student who spoke up despite fear, a parent who found peace and presence, a dreamer who began with one uncertain step. You, too, can weave these moments into your own story. As you drift toward sleep, let this Buddhist proverb rest with you. Leaves fall, yet the tree stands tall. It's a quiet promise that your doubts are not your truth, that your strength is always there, rooted deep within. Try one small practice from Lila's journey: a mindful breath, a kind gesture, a moment of letting go. These acts are not grand, but they are profound, building a life of clarity and courage, one fleeting moment at a time. Picture yourself now standing under that tree with Lila, the air soft with falling leaves. Each one carries a doubt, a worry, a fear drifting away into the night. You are not your doubts. You are the tree, steady and whole. Rest in this truth, knowing that each new day brings a chance to step forward, to live with clarity, to shine with the quiet confidence that is already yours. Sleep well, dear traveler, and let tomorrow's moments unfold with grace.